Alistair Mann, you would not be wrong. A big beaming smile because Manchester City have beat Bayern Munich 3-0 in the first leg of their quarter-final tie. Unbelievable 90 minutes of football, unbelievable quality, and what a result to be taken over to Munich. Thank you for joining us on Matchday Live. Michael Brown, thoughts and feelings after those 90 minutes?
Brilliant. I said I'd take any sort of win, but to be the scoreline like that, I think it's wonderful second half performance. Very, very brave, creating many opportunities. And obviously, I think the difference as well is there was 4 at the top of the pitch pressing, which put obviously so much pressure on Bayern, made the mistakes, forced them, and then that little bit of quality at the end of it. And I think it was fully deserved, the result as well. No one can argue with it. It could have been better. Still work to do, as Andy said. We were discussing in the studios before we come back. But it's a top performance against a top team, and what a statement all around European football, I think, about Manchester City. It's hard not to get carried away. You've got to be careful, but that was just a brilliant night of football.
And Steph, you know, I mean, we'll get into all the key moments. The first 10 minutes of the second half, you know, Bayern Munich really brought the game to City, but the maturity, I guess, the players showed to not kind of get lost and get, you know, a little bit nervous and then keep playing the way they were. We didn't change anything. We just kept doing what we did in the first half.
No, I think at this level, the players probably know that you're going to have moments in games where you're going to be under pressure and you're going to have people stand up. And we were just speaking about who was player of the match or who played well, but everybody was great. And in their moments, Ederson pulled off some good saves just to kind of keep City in and kind of just weather the storm a little bit, and that was obvious because the City just kept on growing in confidence. Even with the changes with Bruyne growing off, it added a little bit more, an extra person, Alvarez, to go and press and score another goal.
I mean, we can see them all heading into the change room. Nedum, a bit of an obvious question. What is the feeling and the atmosphere going to be like in that Etihad dressing room?
It doesn't get worse there, does it? He's got a drug test. He's been pulled for the drugs test. Not only has he been beat, that's the worst.
Yeah.
When you get that hook for the drugs test, there's nothing worse. But look at them celebrations.
Yeah, I think that was an incredible performance, an incredible night. And do you know what? I feel this is how much the club's changed. They're walking through there like it's just normal. You just beat Bayern 3-0 at home in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and they're walking through, so we've got a game in a few days, we need to get ready for it. You know, it's crazy how much the club's come along, but with these players, the infrastructure, the manager, like, it's a fantastic team to support. Fair play to them. What a result that is.
I mean, Brownie, you just said we'd have taken a 1-goal lead, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves, but Nedum, a 3-goal lead going over to Bayern Munich.
You're not going to turn it down.
You're not? You wouldn't say no, would you? You wouldn't sniff it?
But as my senior pros were saying, in Andy Morrison and Michael Brown, you know, there's still work to do. You're halfway there. If you turn up in the island...
That is the message, not to get carried away.
It's half-time, isn't it?
This is a top, you know, a top team we're talking about with top devastating players and an unbelievable stadium that we're going to go to with an atmosphere will be incredible.
Yeah, they'll be better.
You know, respect. Yeah. I think that's the key. The more respect there is.
But you'll take it,
not to fear it.
Listen, you will take it. And I think as that game plan progressed today, Bayern were getting worse because them being behind isn't something that they're really used to. And at times they were so open. But I think in that next game, they won't necessarily play like that. They'll try and be aggressive, but I think
it's a big psychological edge going into it. Do you know, or do you think these Bayern players have the similar mentality to City? Well, they'll say we can do it. We've got everything we need.
I don't know, Steph. I don't know if you think here, but for me, Bayern are in a very interesting situation because they're at home. They'll try and win that game. That's the first step, and for that 3-0 lead, it's 1 goal at a time. If they're 1-0 up, say in the second leg at home, there's still hope going into the second, but they've just got to be careful because I think, for me personally, once they get open, City pick them apart. You know, it could have been so much more at the end, but I don't think they'll have that same approach for the duration of the 90 minutes in the next game. What do you think?
Yeah, it's quite interesting because obviously you're 3-0 down and you're probably thinking, I've got nothing else much to lose now, and we kind of go for it. But like you said, for City, when the game's open, it allows Grealish, Haaland, Bernardo tonight, Alvarez when he came on, the spaces were so big and Bayern didn't know what to do. So, I mean, I would have took any win at the beginning of the game. So to go 3-0 in, keep that clean sheet is really important.
Can I get ahead of something as well? There's just a few things. Firstly, I've lost my voice because I've been screaming. I've lost my composure. I hold my hands up. I'm sorry. But Mike picked up on the fact that, say, John Stones are coming to midfield from the centre as opposed to outright, like he has been doing in recent times. If City would have lost, people would have said Pep's overthinking it.
Yes.
He thought something, he did it, it worked. Then when Kevin De Bruyne's coming off, he was unhappy to come off, and he's playing as a 10, City with a lead. You put on a number 9 to go up there. Someone will say he overthinks it again. But these are the positives which people forget about when it doesn't end up leading to a win. But that aggressive approach has given them that 3-0 lead, because most managers, and probably most of us ourselves, would have maybe been taking something a bit more conservative. But for him, he could sort of like feel the team was in the ascendancy, and he came and did that, and it was a completely different game that last 20 minutes.
I wanted to ask you on that, because you pointed it out right at the start. As we've seen, if you watch the game, we've been so used to Stones playing on the right of the 4, dropping into midfield and inverting to be that extra centre midfielder. You said tonight he might do it, put him centre half, and put a Kanji on the right hand side. So why did he do that? What do you think?
I just think I watched the game the other day, and we touched on it slightly, that it was Southampton who actually blocked it off. They actually were 2 narrow ones at the top of the pitch, and then eventually Kanji was going really, really wide to try and get on it, and it wasn't as flowy for them. So actually the shortest route for Stones to go and drop in and make the other one is just to move forward from the centre position. So that's the slight change. It's give them other opportunities. They can change within game. Again, Pep Guardiola's always moving, isn't he? He's always thinking of the next possibility. He said beforehand, we forget about the Premier League. It's about this now. It's something different. But again, it's worked really well. I find that it did. It's just, again, it's getting used to players in different positions that we're not always being brought up on. Kanji being out in that position for a long period of time, John Stones out on the wide right. But I just feel like it was a full of energy performance. You can talk about tactics at times and how the setup is and how Kevin De Bruyne came off and look at the distance. But I just felt like the mentality and confidence all around with everything, and that desire and grit. I think Bernardo Silva leads that as well. So it's not just tactically. I just feel like it was a really, really solid performance all around.
Yeah, and I think we could, I think, Steph, you said we could probably highlight every player and spend 5 minutes talking about them. We might highlight a few in a second, but let's talk about the goals. We had the worldie from Rodri in the first half on his left foot. Second goal, it's that man you've just mentioned there, Bernardo Silva, and a rare header for him, Steph.
Yeah, of course, he's probably not expected to do that, but an absolute great ball by Haaland. I think we were all shouting in the studio for him to shoot, but to be able to have that composure to put it up back post, and Bernardo gets enough on the header to, I think, normally the keeper might save that, but because of tonight and how it's been, I think he just ends up being so powerful, and it just puts City in a great position from that goal on.
And with that goal, I mean, we're going to think, one of the players I want to talk about is Diaz. From their perspective, Nedum, Upamecano probably will not want to relive tonight, particularly not that second half.
Listen, it's a tough night here, and a lot of people have been watching that game, and they'll be thinking about that the next time they play. And I think for those City players as well, they'll know that, you know, every game is essentially different. But if that's in his mind, then what does it mean for the next game? Is he going to start? Is he going to get the manager's vote of confidence? If he does, great. But maybe they go and press him, because I think they could have even pressed him more today. And some of those mistakes he was making, they were unforced errors. City weren't like really being aggressive with what they were doing. He was giving the ball up, and certain aspects I saw in the first minute, he was slipping, he was falling over. I was like, that's a bit weird. But still, he's ended up being a very, very tough night for him, and, you know, as we all saw.
I think when you give the ball away, I've got to give full credit to the front 4. You know, we're talking about you leading and you're at this level with a midfield battle with 3v3 or whatever it may be. They've gone actually 4-2-4, and I watched the 2 midfielders behind that front 4 were actually travelling.
Yeah.
They weren't even sat waiting for it to be dropped. In the moment Jack Grealish pinches it, they're actually travelling in the clip to go forward, which is incredible. If he gets his head up and clips over, there was 3 for 3 here. But actually, you get your rewards sometimes. Full credit, Jack Grealish, pinching the ball, forcing that mistake, but it was all of them in the setup, and it was a brilliant clip whenever you get to see the goal of actually being brave on the press.
Brave on the press, and then, I mean, we're always talking about Haaland's goals. Ironically, we're going to speak about one in a second, but the awareness brownie for the pass.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm thinking, shoot, and I'm thinking, where's he going? And obviously he just clips it, nice wedge, and Bernardo's looking. And listen, I've been in those positions occasionally, but not too often. And you're looking and you're going, here we go, you're travelling, you're on the way, and you're going, this has got... you can see it for ages, it's yours. You've got the chance, you speak, please, please, please. And he hits it really well, doesn't he? Great header.
He's got to head it down. Head it down.
Well, yeah, technically he's done wrong, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Unless it's in the corner. Pep will be having a word about that. Excuse me, next time you go, head it down. because more often it'll go in. The power done the goalkeeper. He got a hand. He'd be a bit disappointed with it.
He had a
But
good
it
game,
was
though. Jansson had a good game overall.
Well,
How much involvement?
Actually, I mean, I've got some Bernardo stats, but I mean, for people at home who might not have seen the game yet, are Bayern Munich very in debt to Sommer for it only being 3-0?
Yeah, I think so. He did make some big saves, especially that one from Rodri, I think.
Yeah,
which ended up tipping over the bar. Like he faced a lot of shots there, and I think, as I say, as the game was progressing, it ended up being like Bayern's attack and Bayern's defence. The two didn't come together to play as Bayern's team. And when it gets like that, you do need your goalkeeper to do well. But if we're going to give Sommer credit, got to give Edison credit.
Yes.
Because for that first 10 minutes, as soon as the second half started, he had to make 2 or 3 saves and sweep up a few moments. And if you don't weather that storm, the game's not finishing 3-0. So it's good to see that both goalkeepers, obviously, could have done better potentially from the Bernardo one. But both
That's the thing you wanted, wasn't it? The clean sheet.
Yeah.
I think that's so important.
I think just
at this
even
level,
as like
isn't
a
it?
confidence boost going to over there, even if we're not at our best attacker, and you know that you've got players that are just going to put the bodies in. Yeah, exactly. And you've got a world-class goalkeeper in Edison that can not just save it, but he's pushing out so wide so the team can get up and get reset and reorganised. He was impressive tonight.
And how also key, Steph, was Ruben Diaz to that clean sheet tonight.
Oh,
Get a big smile on your face.
I mean,
he's been looking at you. Like, listen,
the Diaz block as well.
he's been looking at us the whole day.
He knew.
The whole time he's been staring
love
straight at
this
us, mate. He's staring me straight in the eye.
No,
Don't you get this debate going again?
So the block in the first half.
He's done it on
and in the
purpose.
second
Yes, he
half.
has. Yes, he has. Thank
Here's
you.
2 goals.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna have a yellow
We'll
card,
have that. Thank you.
No, I just think he reads the play so well, and I think he's not afraid to go against the best strikers and the best attacking players. And in them moments when you want just someone to come and head the ball or clear the ball, and there might be a pass on, but it just like relieves the pressure a little bit. And he was fantastic tonight. I think it's hard to pick one out, but defensively he put in the most important blocks and saves really.
So who was your man of the match then?
Diaz.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Diaz.
It was your player of the match.
No, I just knew it was Diaz. Just joking.
He'd say the same thing.
I'm going to say Rodri.
Rodri was great. Wasn't he? I might just say Kevin to be biased again. Kevin.
Well, it was interesting because, you know, Kevin De Bruyne went off and we all get very worried all of a sudden, just not for now, but for this big run now, the business end of the season. Alvarez comes on and then it's him that pops up, you know, with a whipped ball and starts the goal for Haaland's goal. He's great. And a great save from Sommer as well. He could have been on the score.
Yeah, exactly. That was a very good save again from Sommer. I forgot about that one. But, yeah, he came on. And it's like, oh, so Alvarez is coming on for KDB. Okay, so we're playing with 2 strikers when we've got a lead and, like, we're a bit nervous. Doesn't quite make sense. But then in the same breath, it made perfect sense. Because as Michael was saying, like, they applied great pressure together as that front two. It wasn't Kevin just behind. It was now Alvarez alongside Haaland. And that caused Bayern a lot of problems. And, again, he was taking set pieces, Alvarez. And that one came, he put the initial corner and he got cleared. Bernardo played it to him. And then he whipped a great ball in on his left foot. And obviously, when you've got a 2-0 lead at home in the Champions League, you keep your centre half up top, don't you? So then, you know, John Stones heads it back. And who's the man that's always free in the box somehow? It's Erling Haaland. You can sniff out a goal, that fella.
It was a beautiful, beautiful goal, 3-0. And from there, we kind of looked in cruise control. Will, do you think City could be a little bit gutted that they maybe didn't sneak one more?
Do you know what's mad, isn't it?
I know that's a mad question to ask.
It is a mad question.
We're actually
But
going,
here's the
no,
context,
do you know what? We really could have been 4. It could have been 5. I don't know, is it disrespectful to be saying that? Yes, the chances were there. They had chances as well. I just think it's a delight to be coming off with this scoreline. And you're just going back to, obviously, Haaland getting another goal. Brilliant. Alvarez's shot is going back to that little whip one. I mean, it's incredible, lovely pass, good save as well. I just think it was literally, it was something to talk about being defensive when you're leading. And it was Vincent Kompany actually interviewed him the other week, and he was telling us about when they're defending throw-ins. He's actually in the setup of going, right, we're defending this throw. How are we going to score from defending this throw? Wow. And like just going back to the point of view with Alvarez going at the top of the pitch, Pep Guardiola's saying, well, I see that as a defensive move because my press is going to be even better, higher, where I feel like it can affect him. Yeah. So I think it was
Love that.
You know, it was a really decent move, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Steph, I mean, playing in cup competitions, you'll know it's especially across 2 legs. It is only half time, and that'll be something Pep will be drilling into them, but the players know as well.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously Pep's got so much history with Bayern Munich and he knows what they're all about. And I think, obviously, our history in the Champions League so far, we're so desperate to win this trophy. And these stages we are very good at. But I think you see that group of lads there, they're desperate to win. And I think they've got some great pros that are in there that'll be experienced and just, like, keep your feet on the floor and enjoy tonight, of course. Like, it's not very often you get to beat Bayern Munich 3-0 with a performance like that. But I think as soon as tomorrow comes, the next focus is Leicester and then on to the next one. But I think naturally as a player, if you've been playing in Champions League nights, it's okay to get a little bit excited because of that performance and enjoy it. But as soon as tomorrow comes, you'll be focused on the next one.
Do you know when you know? Sorry, do you know when you know Pep as you do in the building and see him? Will he be emotional going to Bayern, being his old club, or do you just think he's at the level where it just doesn't even? Do you know, like me as a player going back to a former club, it's special. I just like Pep seems to have this ruthless streak. I don't know. Do you think he'll be? You know,
I think it will matter. I don't know Pep like that, but I think it will matter because he didn't stay in the Bundesliga, so he doesn't go there all the time. So each time you do go there, he'll probably have some sort of feeling to it. Like it could be years at a time before you're going back there.
I wonder how special though he feels. Do you know when you're going back to?
Has he been back?
No.
No, I don't think he has. No. As far as I know, no.
No, he's not played
He'll
against
definitely
them.
be a thing.
He's not played against them.
It'll definitely be a thing, I reckon.
Be interesting.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I think so, yeah. I don't think he'll show it, but I think deep down you'll be thinking, I need to go and do something special with my team, really.
Looking forward to his interviews to see, do you know, his thoughts and what he's saying.
He's gonna upset so many people in a press conference tonight because they'll be desperate to see him get really excited about something. He says, "Yeah, you know, it's a good game. It's 3-0. We've got a game against Leicester on the weekend. You know,
Leicester will come into it heavily now, won't he?
Yeah,
and that's rightly so because
100%.
It's gone. It's halfway. Like normally there'd be players be celebrating, and like you said, if they're walking off the pitch, you'll already be knowing, well, Pep's going to go, why didn't you do this? Why is he not 4? Why is he not 5? And the weekend, and all about recovery, isn't it?
That's it, and we'll be with you, of course, for all those games. Producer Daryl's put this in just before we do look ahead to the weekend quickly. What did you make of our holding midfielders game? Because my brother did text me and he said that is the most complete 45 minutes he'd seen from a holding midfielder.
I've got to be careful or I'll be under pressure.
No, go on, speak the truth. Go on, speak the truth. Let's have a listen.
He gets a goal.
Let's have a listen,
Do you know what?
I don't need that from a holding midfielder.
I'll give the defenders the credit, right? You don't always get credit for defending it out. A defensive midfield player as well. You do a lot of work for other people. So joke apart, he does that, and it was nice for him to get some glory, some real feeling rushing through his body for all the good work he does. Very unselfish. As I said, he's improved so much on the ball that you've never seen an improvement like it. He was tested in areas with midfield players and runners, and he dealt with it really well. Good combination, players around him. And I think that'll take him on to the next level. This later stages in games like this will get him even better. So top performance.
Unbelievable. Let's look to the weekend. Leicester, 5:30 on Saturday. I'll be with you on Matchday live. New manager, Nedum, so there is the worry about that bounce back thing. But, you know, we'd like to think if City can turn up and do the thing.
Yeah, for me, City at home, they're just one of those things where you don't expect them to win, but there's always going to be that good chance. When you look at their record, it's spectacular. And I think playing against Leicester City, who've had a terrible season to this point, they'll be heavily favoured for a reason. And if they have the mentality that they've had over recent weeks, you know, they're probably going to win that because their quality is going to be there and they've got more confidence as well. And you hope the new manager bounce doesn't start now. But what I would say, Leicester City are now entering a realm of desperation. So as a consequence, however they play...
He's going to get a bounce out of them.
Has to.
He's going to get a bounce out of them. That's going to be a tougher game than it would have been. I've no doubt about it. And I think...
Wait, again,
they have been awful, but they're
that's what I mean. That's the thing. They've been awful, so they might get better, but it doesn't make them the Leicester of, say, 3-4 years ago.
Yes.
But everything feels like when City play at home, if they play well, they tend to win. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I believe that they can play well at home against Leicester City.
And Steph, we can't, you know, I guess not say as well, getting a big win like that, and fingers crossed if we can keep it going, the lift that'll just give the players and also the energy around the club is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and it sends a message out to the rest of the league as well. Obviously, we're coming up to the final games of the season and you want to put pressure on as much as possible, so all the hard work that the lads have done tonight, it'll be a shame if they don't follow that up on Saturday. But I think, like what the guys have said, I think Leicester will be different to what they have been all season. But I think City at this moment in time are just full of confidence and have got far too much quality for a lot of teams in the Premier League at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be with you every step of the way. Just had a quote given to me as well. Pep Guardiola in his post-match interview has said that that game has taken 10 years off him. He says he's emotionally destroyed after that game. Well, he's got it all to come again because Manchester City take a 3-0 win to Bayern Munich in the second leg of our quarter-final. We'll be with you every step of the way. And don't forget, Manchester City, we've got another trip to Wembley in the offering against Sheffield United, FA Cup semi-final, a.k.a. the Etihad South. So let's turn into the Etihad Stadium. You can still get tickets available now. Jump online, you can find all the details there. And don't forget, there's a derby as well for our under-18s this weekend. You can get that on City Plus and Recast. Massive thank you to our guests, to Nedum, to Steph, and to Mr. Michael Brown, and thank you to you for watching. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you on Saturday. Good night.
Undala, but it's kept alive. Popped in by York. Oh my word, that is absolutely incredible from Nico O'Reilly. Cracking. It's not a bad hit. Oh, it's a beautiful hit. Getting it. Certainly back against City, getting a fifth. And Oboado gets his hat-trick. Headed away by Galvez. Ozo gets his shot away. Oh, was that a handball? No, it was headed over. Brilliant. And they've not got there quick enough. And Dixon will keep up his record of a goal every round. So then loses it to Undala. And onside Whittingham. And that will count. Carlos Borges. Mebuda. 3. Carlos Borges. And drilled in brilliantly by Galvez. That's a brilliant goal.